Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today. It is going to be two incredibly fun to watch bots taking each other on the map Hardlead, the AI edition. It is a Terran versus Zerg, but more importantly, a bot versus bot. We've got BenbotBC in the bottom right, which is a very awesome bot. Who doesn't love a bot that builds battle cruisers? I don't think anyone's going to raise their hand on that one. And so, taking on BenbotBC is going to be none other than Xena, the wildcard bot, the very impressive random project, as this bot is probably one of the most chaotic, with the most strategies, if I had to guess. As, yeah, we've got Xena playing Zerg, or queuing into Zerg, I guess, as random. And so BenbotBC has moved out on the map. It has identified that it's playing a Zerg. Doesn't say anything in chat, but I do wonder if the bot author has got, or how bot authors go about programming. Like, hey, I'm up against a Zerg, I'm up against a Terran. Like, how do you go about programming when you play against a random bot? Presumably you have to have some sort of check in there if you have different builds for different matchups. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, make sure to go ahead and slap that like button. Just give it a good old click. You guys and this community on YouTube, I think, have got to be one of the best communities for that. You guys are always blowing that like button out of the water. And so, do that. Leave a comment saying more bots if you want to see more of these bots. Join the Discord, which is linked down below if you want to become part of the community. And consider becoming a YouTube member. We're up at 9 YouTube members now, almost at our goal of 10. So, you guys can check out the perks using the join button down below. And then we shall see where this game's going to go from here. BenbotBC does have a bunker on the low ground. It is walling off on the low ground against this Zerg, which I love to see, because playing against random, it initially did not wall off at first, but then it seems to have kind of corrected itself with this bizarre wall. I'll say bizarre because its depot's in a bunker at the 2.5 minute mark. Presumably we'll see something else to fully seal this off, hopefully. Anyway, so it's going to be a wall into Expo for BenbotBC, whereas I believe Xena said it was going for Burrowed Roach, which may as well just say being a Zerg bot. And oh, what is this? BenbotBC's going for a second bunker. This is really weird. BenbotBC is like, this is Xenabot, this is the crazy bot I'm playing against. I gotta be safe. And so it's going to elect to utilize that strategy. Either that or it's going to build a bunker highway all the way towards Xena's base. Now, let's see. We have got these roaches now on the way for Xena. No burrow researched yet. Xena does have a very strong macro game, as we've learned in the past couple of videos featuring it. And that's nothing to scoff at, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to cast Xena versus BenbotBC, was because it's like, okay, it could either be a crazy aggressive cheese that BenbotBC faces off against, or that strong macro that Xena has shown us. So, really providing a lot of possibilities there. We've got a siege tank out for BenbotBC, a Widowmine on the way. Those two bunkers probably will come in handy here, and the siege tank going to be oh so critical against this Burrowed Roach attack that is most likely coming, as this is a high amount of roaches that is being made by Xena. I think we have seen a game where Xena does this. I think it was a ZVZ I saw in the past, though, in which it pooled up lots of roaches and just attacked, and that very well could be the situation this game. Just a 2-base Zerg, 2-base roach in it is about as aggressive as it gets as Zerg. Now, BenbotBC is presumably trying to get to an air unit, which will do very well against, of course, roaches, because roaches don't shoot up, but it's got to survive for that. It's playing very safe, however, with the two bunkers, with the siege tank, with the Widowmine, and as long as it doesn't do any derping, like unload all the Marines or unsiege the tank and move too far forward, then I think it should be fine here. The tank can also kill the roaches, whereas Marines in a bunker will not. The siege tank can actually pop those pop those off, utilizing the splash damage. We see Xena's very cool micro before it decides to engage somewhere, making sure it stays out of range, but at some point, presumably, it's gonna say, hell yeah, brother, let's go for it. Those roaches kill off that SCV. We see Xena deciding to try and break, but then it says, nope, I can't do it, so presumably there's some rapid calculations going on there for Xena, saying, can I break those bunkers? We even see a scan go down for BenbotBC. That roach burrows and moved away from the scan, but it did not move far enough. However, still pretty pricey, a scan in order to just try and kill a single roach. That's actually very pricey. We do have BenbotBC making more Marines, making some Marauders now and getting combat shields, so not really going right for those battle cruisers. It's also got a Viking out as well that just landed. That Viking immediately plopped onto the ground, I guess, and was like, alright, let's fight. We have got Concussive Shell on the way. This wouldn't mind repositioning, getting a little bit too far forward. Yes, it does go down. This Viking trying to be a hero from the campaign. It's from the cinematic, that beautiful Heart of the Swarm cinematic against the Ultralisk, but those are roaches, so he does actually survive. We've got a Liberator on the way for BenbotBC. That could be very important. However, Xena is saying it's go time as it tries to break forward. It, however, does not succeed. Thinks about it, and we see the incredible programming of Xena to program a bot that makes decisions on the fly. It's no small task. Like a lot of bots we cast on this channel, it's simply like, okay, time to attack. It doesn't really think about whether it'll actually succeed or not. It's just, okay, I'll attack or I won't attack, and then they tend not to change their mind, whereas Xena is actually just making this decision on the fly, so presumably it's kind of like counting cards, like, okay, how many units am I seeing? All those calculations our human brain does kind of without thinking about. Someone has had to think about this to program it to say, okay, go for it, or don't go for it, and it does keep changing its mind as it like loses a unit or two and then maybe sees a bit more supply for BenbotBC. That could be part of it, that it's not calculating this bio supply back here before it attacks on in. That Viking comes on in once more, lifts off, flies away, staying alive. We do, however, have some macro behind this for Xena, so it's not just fully committed to this. It's getting up another hatch, a lair, double evo, and it's just incredible that we've had a standoff for 7 minutes with these two bots. We do have a fusion core on the way for BenbotBC, so that could potentially break this stalemate. But man, look at the creep for Xena. It's all over the map. I don't think I've seen creep spread this crazy from a bot. It's probably just because BenbotBC's been trapped at home in its base. We see what happens when one of these roaches unburrow and pop out. Oh, is this guy gonna pop out? Yeah, he does. Okay, that one survives. We do see BenbotBC go for a scan, but then decide to go back home, and we gotta give it to BenbotBC for the good behavior up until this point in staying defensive. However, now it's electing to try and float over a command center. This could potentially make it funnel some units to their death. It's running a Hellion out. That does turn around, trying to bait these roaches in. We'll see, maybe the tanks will inch forward, or a Liberator will siege up to drive these roaches away. But for now, it's a pretty heavy contain. We do have a Raven out for BenbotBC. That's going to provide vision on these roaches. That will be invaluable. Xena still just dancing away, though, not making any more roaches, getting up lots of upgrades. Auto turret trying to clear up some of that creep. However, the roaches shut that down. So BenbotBC really being contained on 2 bases here, where Xena is really going into macro mode. We've got 5, 6 bases up already for the Zerg bot. A minute ago we saw there was like 2 bases up, so Xena has just been going hard on the economy. We do have more tanks on the way out for BenbotBC, but BenbotBC is really contained here. And at some point it will need to break out, and we got to give it to BenbotBC. Good behavior in that it's not just rallying these SCVs out to their death. It's saying, alright, gotta make sure it's safe. There's an enemy on the doorstep, and BenbotBC's just chilling back at home. We've got a Liberator sieging up now at this base. So it's a fine line that Xena's army is walking. BenbotBC's trying to be like, can I fight this? The answer is probably not without stim packs, seeing as how these roaches are about to get 1-1. There's also Hydralisks now joining the army too. And BenbotBC is not living up to its battle cruiser name yet. For some reason, I guess maybe just because it's in defensive mode or something like that, BenbotBC is saying, nope, don't invest in that battle cruiser just yet. We do have bio skirmishing with these roaches now. They are fighting without their siege tank support, they're actually doing pretty well for themselves because Xena is a bit afraid to engage into this. And it looks like Xena saying, "You look busy, I'll come back later," finally getting broken. This is going to allow the move out for BenbotBC to start cleaning up some of this ridiculous amount of creep on its side of the map as it sees all these tumors, some burrowed roaches. This Raven needs to allow these tumors to get killed off. Come on, BenbotBC, you can do it. Kill the tumors. The Raven is good at dropping the turrets, but kind of needs to support these units to make that happen. The tanks are still sitting back here, but there's still like 4 more creep tumors hanging around this base. BenbotBC has got its got a lot of lawn care to do in regards to cutting the creep back. More battle cruisers are now on the way for BenbotBC. However, its Marines are getting caught out a little bit here, and this could be bad as the Zerg is trying to reestablish its contain. The siege tanks are not repositioning, and Xena is taking a good fight, and Xena's maxed out. This could be a big problem for BenbotBC as if this contain just goes on indefinitely, it will eventually wither and die. The main base is probably mining out. Yeah, it's really starting to mine out, and the natural's starting to mine out. So BenbotBC may just have to pull the boys at some point. This Raven is really trying to clean up this creep, but it's like, oh gosh, there's too many tumors. Too many creep tumors. Drops in an auto turret into the fight, actually. The bio stims now for BenbotBC. We do have battle cruisers being made 3 at a time with a little bit of money. Wait. Okay, there's a battle cruiser at the back of Xena's base. Not sure how that happened. I guess it just teleported forward. These BCs could be used in this fight. We do have a medivac on the way now for BenbotBC. Just, oh, this creep. It's really denying this base. Looks like BenbotBC has got the behavior to an extent, but as far as the combo of being contained in its natural, having the creep on its door, it's just, I guess it's being pulled too many directions. We've got 2 BCs teleporting into the main base of Xena. They're going to dump Yamato cannons, kill off a Spore Crawler. One goes onto an infestation pit. That seems a little bit bizarre, but knowing that these Zerg infestors are the natural predator of battle cruisers, it kind of makes sense. I'm actually surprised to see that. Maybe it's because it's researching, that's why BenbotBC targeted it. For now, though, it's looking mighty rough for BenbotBC as it has failed to break out once again. There is medivacs now healing up the bio. The Hero Viking's gonna land and quickly float up again, but the presence of this Zerg army is seemingly stopping the Raven from doing any further creep clearing. Say that 3 times fast, as we've got Xena now taking a base really far forward. BenbotBC's building up in supply. The problem is the speed of its building is just going to plummet. It's now got like, I don't know how many idle SCVs that is, but if I had to take a guess, that's over 2 pages. That's like 50 idle SCVs. So BenbotBC really needs to clear up this creep to get a base landed or to start long distance mining even. It's having a hard time with this contain. The Zerg army is not there yet to break these battle cruisers, as there's only a couple of infestors buried in the ground. The BCs are utilizing their teleport, which means the neural parasite cannot do that to them. We've also got BCs attacking in the main base, causing trouble, pulling Xena in multiple directions. The bio is trying to break this location, but the problem is Xena is just reinforcing as time goes on. BCs are shelling away non-stop. Look at this. There's the neural parasite, though, as these BCs are all of a sudden traitors, and that there's quite a bit of energy, so I think there can be a follow-up neural parasite as well on these battle cruisers, so it's just going to be non-stop neural parasite. BenbotBC got pushed back once again. This is heartbreaking to see BenbotBC not breaking out of here. And I'm noticing a common trend with these bots, that it seems every match I cast in which a bot loses, I'm like, can it win the next one though? Because a lot of these things are just so circumstantial, it seems. The Raven is still hanging around. I don't know what's going on with the creep clearing behavior. Maybe now that the Zerg army is a bit farther away, when that Raven hits 50 energy, it'll start clearing up more of the creep, but still no long distance mining for BenbotBC. It's repairing up its battle cruisers. It's got a long ways to go, though. We see an attack for Xena moving forward. Oh no, is this going to pull the Raven away? Yeah, I think it is. Is it going to clear? Is it going to get a tumor? Oh, see, no, yeah, there's units there. And then it just drops the turret. And that's supposed to be a big part of the big part of the creep clearing. We see BenbotBC moving out once again. It's got a very formidable fleet of battlecruisers now, able to push this Zerg army back, scanning, clearing up creep on the front lines. We've got, yeah, the entire Terran army moving forward. Ironically, the creep on this further forward base may be cleaned up prior to the creep of this third base. There's a couple Marines here with the Raven, but yeah, maybe it's just the creep tumor positioning is messing with BenbotBC's AI a little bit too. There's still more creep tumors here, however, and the creep of Xena really is doing wonders for it. It's kind of bricking Xena at this point. We see more tumors getting thrown down. This bio gonna stim as it engages the rest of this Zerg army. Neural parasites going on down. That poor Viking gets deleted by a friendly battle cruiser. Lots of the Zerg force is going down here. We do see an auto turret get dropped, so some of the creep gets cleaned up, but the Raven moves out of the way. The way the Raven circles isn't complete, and these tumors are still too close to this base for it to be cleaned up. And BenbotBC is really starting to run out of money here too. This is problematic. SCVs are pretty much spending all the money to repair. It could have almost expanded here had it killed one or two more tumors, but that didn't happen. Battle cruisers and marauders are cleaning up the space to the top right, and I'm really hoping BenbotBC can get another base soon, or at least start long distance mining. Like, the Raven's there, but the bio just keeps going back. For some reason, I don't know why it's not going far enough forward. Maybe that is a bit of a flaw in BenbotBC's programming. We see Marines kiting against these Roaches. The Roaches are vastly superior in the upgrades too, so they're going to trade well against the bio. We see Xena just expanding all over the place. The trades for BenbotBC have been phenomenal this game, but it's kind of got as far as it can on two bases, dropping a mule to mine the last 160 minerals it has. And we may see some drastic measures from BenbotBC here soon, as it completely runs out of minerals. Like, I really hope it starts long distance mining. If it even scans here and cleans up this creep, it could float the base over here. The Zerg's coming on in, attacking into these BCs. The BCs are pretty darn beefy though, so they're gonna shred into this Zerg force. The anti-battle cruiser for Xena doesn't seem to be being too effective this game just yet. The Raven, it's still flying around, but yeah, like, it doesn't seem programmed to get the creep tumors that are a bit too far from the base. Or maybe it just keeps getting dragged into a fight. A mule is long distance mining, so there is some income here for BenbotBC, but the problem is it's not using that energy to scan. Okay, the Raven's gonna have the energy to drop a turret once more. Where's it gonna drop it? It sees tumors, oh, but then it drives away. Raven, please. Oh, this is... Oh, okay, it kills one of the tumors, but oh, this is just painful. We're seeing more neural parasites go down here as BenbotBC is now completely broke, so it can't really afford to lose any of these units. It was long distance mining with its mules, but it's got BCs back in its main. And I think this has just been a bit of a whimper as far as BenbotBC going out. As, yeah, just unfortunately it's not expanding. Xena is retreating with its signature retreating tag. As, okay, the bio moves out once more. There's like a random scan here, but just not clearing up those last two creep tumors. That's very unfortunate. I guess there's three still. But anyway, yeah, maybe if, say, the Raven died as well, BenbotBC would be like, alright, let's drop some more scans to clean this creep, but it's kind of, we're really seeing flaws in regards to its creep cleaning up, and the efficiency of BenbotBC has been ridiculous this game, but it is now completely out of resources. It cannot repair its units, so that's a big flaw there. These BCs cannot get healed. The SCVs could long distance mine, but that's not happening. And, yeah, I think I'm going to have to cast a rematch between these two. Xena versus BenbotBC. Hopefully Xena will be Zerg in whatever replay I click on. There's a neural parasite. Yamato cannon goes down. That is damage that cannot be healed by BenbotBC. That battle cruiser actually going to go down. And even though that Xena has been incredibly cost inefficient this game, like, BenbotBC got about as much mileage as it could off of two bases. It's just fundamentally bricked here by the by the presence of a couple creep tumors, and it goes to show that it's a challenge to program to deal with this, as yeah, like auto turret gets dropped, and this works in a lot of games in which there's probably 1 or 2 creep tumors, but when the creep gets pushed to the very edges of the base, clearly it doesn't work for BenbotBC. And yeah, well done by Xena. Its macro is impressive, its cheese is impressive. I'll definitely cast a rematch between these two. If we look at the map, we kind of see how extreme the creep spread of Xena is this game. I don't know if any of you have watched the mini-map as this game has been going on, but we're looking at 80 larvae and 700 creep tumors. And then those tanks, oh, how many kills did these tanks have? That back guy had 15 before he died. I'm sure the others had quite a bit too. But yeah, it's just a slow death in games like this when a bot fails to expand. And yeah, we'll have to cast another BenbotBC game. If you guys want to see another BenbotBC game, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We see that Raven dropping more tumors, but just, or more turrets to kill the tumors, but I guess BenbotBC just needs to maybe change how it assigns units to the Raven. Like, it did bring a couple Marines over, and they were near the tumors the whole time, but they didn't go out far enough. And yeah, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, join the Discord, which is linked down below. And I know this game was a bit of a slow demise for BenbotBC, but not every bot game is like this, so I'll definitely cast a rematch between these two. And if you guys want to see the rematch, let me know down below, because we all know that BenbotBC can bring it when it is allowed to take a third base. Even we saw how much damage it got done off of 2 bases and just chilling. What buildings does it have left though? Okay, 2 tech labs, and that is going to be that. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. I'll see you next time.